We're about 4,300 miles away from you there in Orlando as we come to you from the European home of the NFL, London, England. Coming up, another edition of the NFL International Series, and it should be a good one between the Baltimore Ravens and the London Black Knights.
Here we go.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here come the Ravens now, ready to get the football for the first time. As we get a look at a guy who grew up in Florida, played his college ball, of course, in Louisville. It's the electric Lamar Jackson.
I loved his quote during the week. If I were a defensive back, I would have wanted to play against me last week as well. He's trying to eliminate those turnovers, those interceptions, and get back on the positive side of the ledger, throwing touchdown passes.
Yeah, had 4 of those picks, led to the loss.
You can't block me. You can't block me.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Oliver, the tight end, making the catch. Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Jackson. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down. A look there at the starters on the defensive side of the ball. They were excellent a week ago in the victory over Arizona.
The best defenses I know, they draw lines in the sand and say you're not going to cross that. For most of them, it's 100 yards of total offense. They didn't quite accomplish that, but still a pretty darn good game last week. Just over 100 yards of total offense given up.
They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And brought down, but not before he was able to break the tackle, and the extra effort moves the sticks. 8 yards, 1st down as they're able to convert.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
On 2nd and 11 now. Jackson, and he's got the hook up to Landry.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Here's Jackson to throw, and he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tuck rule that they can fall back on anymore.
This is fielded at the 7. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4" quarterback.
And what I'm looking for from him today, the things every quarterback is looking to do. Lead his team to a victory. Doesn't matter whether he's throwing it, running it, handing it off, however he has to do it, as well as exhibiting some leadership, that's what he's trying to accomplish.
Now a throw right side taken in here to start this drive. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. He'll get 3 up to midfield.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. On 2nd down and 4, Newton. And their inaugural sack of the game coming from an unlikely source.
You mean it wasn't a linebacker? It wasn't a defensive end?
It was somebody like you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a surprise for the offense. That's not what they normally get when they think about pressure.
Throwing on third down, Newton. That's caught by Jennings. And some room to work. And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Gary Jennings, his 19th touchdown now on the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. Dalvin Cook with touchdown number 7 on the year. And his guys have taken the lead. Solid job up front, really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
That was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run, end result, 6 points.
Touchdown. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it's capped off by the touchdown run coming from Dalvin Cook. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, second and manageable.
Keep it nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
To try again after the sack. Jackson. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away.
There he goes left side. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Nelson Aguilar with touchdown number 7 on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
This will be taken in at the 1. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. So here's the home side to take over on offense. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. On first down, it's Newton. This is Jennings. And he's got Rome. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. These two teams all tied after one. So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10.
Check nickel, nickel, nickel.
From the red zone now, Newton. Open man, completes it to Smith-Schuster. And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster, touchdown number 18 on the year, as his guys are able to regain the lead. And there they got him the ball. Just get it to him, let him do the rest.
You know, he probably said that to his quarterback as he broke the huddle. I like the play call. Just get it to me. I'll take care of the rest of it.
Helping out his rack, right? RAC?
Run after catch, and he loves that, and he's going to carry that in at contract time.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. This Ravens offense heads back out there, led by Lamar Jackson. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but bottom line, his team's losing. They got to fix something.
And it starts with him. He has to keep that little quarterback strut going right now to make sure.
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye, that happened fast, and a big sack.
Check.
On second down, Foreman. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The Ravens on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 15. Now it's Jackson. Rolling to his right. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. Give him 8 yards that time on the scramble, and now 4th down.
Well, it's not going to be a first down, but that's a nice job of picking up yardage on 3rd and long. Sometimes you just have to take what the defense gives you, and in this case, it wasn't enough to pick up the first down.
And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line.
Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows their punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
So here is the home side to take over on offense. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he will lose yardage here back to his own 6. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. A give to Cook out of the gun. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8. From the gun on 3rd down, Newton. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
A 47-yard punt, maybe a couple on the return, and the Ravens, they'll take over. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field, and they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
second down now. Foreman. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they're going to have a third down. The Ravens on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Throw left side complete. It's Barry. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on third down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Throwing on second down, Jackson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
Many teams, as soon as they spot man defense, if they haven't called a hitch, they'll get to it as fast as they can. They want to put the ball in the hands of one of their best playmakers and hope that he can break a tackle on the outside and go for big yardage.
Jackson looks to throw, fires right side, and that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. A big play there, and even 50 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. Newton now to throw. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And he will take it in for the touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster with his 19th touchdown, his 2nd of the game. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. And he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. A lot of the problems have been on the other side of the ball. Is that frustrating for a quarterback who's been playing well?
It is, but there's no way that the best ones let their teammates know that. They actually take it upon themselves and say, okay, I have to do even more, or I need to play better. Maybe even say I put my defense in a bad spot. That's what true leadership should.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Devin Bush in there for sack number 22 on the year. And, folks, that's just a half sack shy now of Michael Strahan's record of 22 and a half set in 2001. After the sack on first down, Jackson. He is proving his worth defensively, getting the sack here. That comes after being named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his performance in last week's game.
He's stacking games together, isn't he? I mean, you just mentioned what he did the previous week to be named AFC Defensive Player of the Week, continuing to play at that level. And when you get that kind of confidence going, those kind of guys are hard to stop.
Now a second timeout called for by the defense, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. That's pulled in at the 32. And call that an even 50 yards on the punt. with 7 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So here is the home side to take over on offense. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. Second down. So line of scrimmage still at 39 on 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Newton. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down. Newton on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14.
Let's go, tight end. Let's go. Check 24. Check 24. 55 is mine, guys. 55. 61. Let's box. Right. Switch.
Now Newton. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. It'll be a gain of 3 on what should be the final play of this first half. So we have come to halftime, and what's up? Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the 3rd quarter. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Now a pass that's taken in by Smith-Schuster. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 58 yards. From the gun, here's Newton. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. A good pickup there, 21 yards. They'll run on first down. Foreman, and they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Jackson, this one caught by his tight end Oliver. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
How about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. So here's the home side to take over on offense. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know what?
And now off to the races, down the right side. And all the way in for the touchdown. Gary Jennings, an 80-yard touchdown. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit, get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Well, his first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
Lutz with the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. This Ravens offense heads back out there, led by Lamar Jackson. He's been pretty solid, pretty consistent, just the one touchdown pass, but I think he's managed the game well, no?
I would agree with you, and that's what you're looking for out of your field leader, making sure that you're playing well and not making any big mistakes. Oftentimes, that's how you're judged. How big a mistake and when it occurs. No interception so far. They'll like that.
I just want you to know that you agreeing with me, that's going to get me through this third and fourth quarter. Are you touched? He's patting his heart, boys and girls. He's touched.
Respect.
There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up third down.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Jackson from the shotgun. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
This is taken around the 12. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And out will come the offense as they take over. So here is the home side to take over on offense. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, let's see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
And he's taken down. It's a gain of 3 from the 17 to the 20. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2. Now it appears we've got an injured Raven down there on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on third.
Okay, just like that.
Out of the gun, Newton. And that is incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. How do you break down his game so far? Just the one touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't, not until you balance it with the error side. You know, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game. But that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team, because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid. They run again with Foreman. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Jackson. Looking left side, that's caught by Landry. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense. Here we go.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Exit, exit.
Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. So they had the big loss on that 1st down pass play and facing a 2nd and long. Throwing is Jackson. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Joey Bosa able to record his 5th sack of the season.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not one. And he's going to go down again. Devin Bush in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. John Harbaugh not afraid to go for it this time. Doesn't work out. And the ball will go over on downs on the short side of the field. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Newton. He'll get the 1st down and more inside the 20. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. Gary Jennings with touchdown number 20 on the year. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
But you're going to tell me good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's third down. On third down, Jackson. And that will be incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
It'll wind up being a net of 41. 9-yard return, 50 on the punt. So here is the home side to take over on offense. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
No gain on the play there, second down. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Now this throw caught left side. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. Well, there's your leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes? We should be, right? Because I'm going to go back and watch this tape and really enjoy what I'm seeing. The route running, competing for the football, just breaking down a defense.
This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Newton. And that'll be incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver. And it's second down. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. To throw again, Newton. That is caught at the 7. And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster with touchdown number 20 on the year as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Lutz good on the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Let's go one more.
Now Jackson going to throw again. Completes it to Aguilar. And a big play there on 2nd down, but we do have a flag on the field. This is in the area where it might be coming back.
Still second
Well, there
down.
have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. They'll get a couple yards on that one. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. From the gun, Jackson. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Joey Bosa in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And now it's the punter Weil on as he sends this one away. Take it at the 37. So possession goes over here on the punt. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Juju Smith-Schuster and the rest of this offense heading back out there. Now, this defense, they wouldn't mind not seeing him again for a while. 3 trips to the end zone. How about that?
I think right now they would happily go to their general manager and say, is there any way you could get a trade for him? Bring him over to our team so we don't have to cover him anymore? Because he is really having a heck of a ball game, isn't he?
Boy, he is. I don't know that mid-game trade's going to happen, but good thought. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Throwing here, Newton. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Lutz with the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now here come the Ravens. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Jackson. Now they go screen. It's complete. He's got a 1st down and then some at midfield. 25 yards that time.
Let's go.
Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Now Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Devin Bush, a milestone sack for him as it moves him past Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor, who finished his career with 132.5. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Jackson now under pressure again, and down he goes again. Devin Bush, my goodness, make that now 5 sacks for him in this ball game. Really, really turning in an incredible performance. One last shot for Jackson. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Barry. 20. And a little bit of a consolation prize there. He's into the end zone. Won't win him the game, but they do get the score with all zeros showing.
But some fantasy players are really happy with that score.
Doesn't affect the outcome, but, hey, nice job there to put it in the end zone for the final play.
Could it affect other things? Sometimes these types of scores are ones that we don't consider big at the time. Then later on we find out maybe that was a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Or, of course, in the fantasy football world, these points mean a lot.
A lot there. Well, on the one side, if you try to take away something positive from this game, they played to the final whistle, getting the touchdown there on the last play, but still, all for naught, really.
Yeah, I'd say give them points for positivity. I like that. That part is good. But I often wonder, when the game is settled and the clock is run out, do we really need to kick the extra point?
Oh, yeah. It's silly. It's silly.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I know that people have explained before, well, you got to play it all the way through. Come on, this thing was done.
So for the home team here, they continue to be one of the best teams around as they move to 10-2. And now it's off to Heathrow as they get set to fly back to the U.S. in a couple hours. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, this loss cost them in the playoff chase as they fall back.